Hello, hello. Daily Football Report number 22. Tom Brady retires again, and some NFL updates for how you're doing today.
Is it for real this time, Goggin? Is this it? Is this the end of the greatest of all time?
This is not the end. All right, I can't believe you're even asking that.
Look, you can't take the man at his word. You know, he was brought back last year. He couldn't stay away, but man, he sounded pretty certain of it in his video that he released today. Man, I'm convinced. I think we've seen the final football game played by the greatest of all time.
I can't believe you and everyone out there are falling for this, man. Come on. Week 1, you don't see him in a uniform. You don't see him in training camp. Come on, man. This is Brett Favre all over again. We've been here and we've seen this.
All right, Mr. Conspiracy. I'm going to need you to break it down. How is Tom Brady coming back, man? Who's he playing for next year? Is he playing week 1?
I'm not sure if I go all in on week 1, but I just see that something will happen that will cause him to step out of the booth and onto the field. And it might be before the trade deadline. It might be a few weeks in, but we will see him on the field at some point in a football uniform taking a snap this upcoming season. I can sense it.
Yeah, it'll probably be after about 3 weeks when we see how bad Kyle Trask is as a starting quarterback in the NFL. They're going to beg Tom to come back and try to save the day. No, look, I think he's done, man. I think there's something to it. I think he sounded very sincere today. I'm going to say this. I don't believe he wants to retire. That was pretty evident, man. You can tell that it still eats at him. He started kind of tearing up in the video a bit. There was a lot of passion in a brief 45-second video there. He was getting choked up, and you could see that. So I would just give you that's probably what you have going for you on your take of, it being more of a Brett Favre style retirement. But, man, I think the guy's ready. I think it's time. His football play has declined. Tom, hang him up.
I can't believe you're falling for that, man. He did the same stuff in some press conferences regarding Deflategate and some other stuff too, man, and you all fell for it. All right? Come on now.
You know what, man? Comparing the man's retirement to Deflategate, that's a little much. I just think you look at it, what more does he have to prove, right? He came back and gave it a go one last season with the Buccaneers. It wasn't enough.
That's fair, but I think if he's truly honest with himself, I think it's his parents and it's his family pushing him off the field. I don't think this is Tom, and he's going to come back, man. He's coming back.
You're not wrong. This definitely isn't something Tom wants to do. The competitor in Tom wants to play until he's 50. We both know that. But what's it going to do? What's it going to do coming back? You want to go and try to go 8-9 with the Buccaneers again, man? Because there just isn't a lot there.
Well, ultimately, look, I think I've seen enough Brady documentaries. I've seen The Man in the Arena. I've seen the Brady Six. I've seen Tom versus Time on Facebook. All right. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Tom does what Tom wants to do. And I think he's going to get FOMO as he did this last offseason, and he's going to get back on the field.
Let me ask you this then. Tom Brady comes back, plays next year. Let's say it's for Tampa Bay. What realistically can you see them doing? What's their record? What kind of season does he have? Be honest here.
Well, I'm not going to talk wins and losses, but what I will tell you is they'll make the playoffs again. And if you're Tom Brady, there's no way you're ending your career losing to the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, man. Dak Prescott had the statistical improbability game of a lifetime. All right? You cannot end your season like that, end your career like that.
I agree with you. It's a terrible, terrible way for Tom to go out. I don't know if he's going to be able to play up to the level of the other better teams in the NFC. And I'm not sure he can even lead the Buccaneers with that talented roster to a playoff spot, man. I honestly don't. Pains me to say that, but I don't see it. I think there's a lot of mystery with Tom in terms of his preparation this season, how much his head was in the game, that kind of stuff. I think it's a good time for him to walk away, go handle out his personal life, and we can go on from there.
I can't disagree with you anymore. I think this is one take where we're completely split on, and I don't know if we've been this opposite on a take yet. But hey, 22 episodes in, right? I guess you kind of start to drift apart a little bit, right?
It's about time, man, to have a really serious opposite takes, like you said. And I think it makes it for entertainment, man. We will see, preseason week 1, regular season week 1. If you're trending in the right direction, we'll know. We'll know if Tom's coming back. I can't wait.
Look, Ford, you're the voice of podcast football, but I'm the voice of reason on this podcast, all right? And this is our segment, Fair or Foul. Look, I told you last year when we discussed Tom retiring for the first time, it didn't seem right. It just wasn't there. And lo and behold, he came back. I'm still going to be skeptical again. I think I've got to see it to believe it, and we'll see how long it takes. You are 1,000% in telling me it is fair he is retiring.
I am 10,000% in on this as an actual retirement. Look, if Tom Brady isn't retiring, and let's say he's trying to come back in the offseason or later towards next season, like you're saying, here's the issue with that. Tom did not look great this season with the preparation that he had. They were under 500 and they barely made the playoffs. If you're telling me I can get Tom Brady and I can get him right before the start of the regular season, I just simply don't want him. I need a quarterback that's giving it his 100%. I didn't see that this year. His off the field stuff was way more important than his on the field stuff. And I wouldn't want to see it. And I don't think Tom would want to see it either.
Well, look, this isn't a daily show like the Maury show, but we'll talk a little bit about it, right? Ultimately, I just think you're right. Tom's head wasn't there, right? But at the end of the day, maybe he needs a year off. Maybe he needs a year away from the game to really reset mentally, because that fire will not die. You can't extinguish his fire, right? His fire led to 23 amazing seasons. Man, all of these Super Bowls, 3 possible 7-year periods of a Hall of Fame career. Come on, man, that never goes away, and I don't think he's done yet.
You know what? Like you said it best, that fire does not go away. It doesn't. He's the greatest of all time for a reason. But let's be honest, it's just time. Go spend time with your kids. Go spend a lot of money. Go and do the things you want to do. Nothing is holding you. You owe nothing to anybody. It's time for Tom Brady to walk away. I'm excited to see it, and we'll see. We'll see if who's right at the start of the regular season.
Hey, how about the end of the regular season? All right, come playoff time. And in all seriousness, look, you live away from your family. I live away from my family. All right, we love them dearly. But look, I want to be in control of my 24 hours in what I do. All right. We love our family, but when you go back home, and all of you listeners know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You see them in the holidays, you see them at Thanksgiving, and you go home and you can be 25, you can be 35, you can be 45, and your mother and father will still treat you like you're a 9-year-old. All right. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I just think Brady felt disrespected and mistreated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coaching staff. And I think he took that and he lashed out on his teammates. All right. This was a team chemistry issue. And maybe it may have been preparation as well. But I don't know. I don't know if we saw 110% Tom Brady this year.
It's interesting you take that take. Tom Brady got exactly what he wanted. He didn't want Bruce Arians to come back, and the Bucs organization gave that to him. The Bucs arguably slapped their best head coach in the history of football, and I would even lose the word arguably in there. And they lost. They threw him out of the organization just to please Tom Brady for 1-8-9 season. I love Tom, but it doesn't make any sense.
Well, you're right on. I mean, we mentioned this in an earlier pod as well, that the biggest takeaway from this Buccaneers season was Bruce Arians is one hell of a coach. Right? Look at what he's done everywhere he's been. And quite honestly, what we don't talk about Bruce is all of the quarterbacks he's helped coach. Manning early on, Big Ben early on, right? The guy is a quarterback genius.
Don't forget about Carson Palmer and leading him from pretty much retirement to an MVP season. I mean, that doesn't get enough love.
Agreed. That was a tremendous, remarkable season as well. You're right.